Imagine renting a new house, searching for a fresh start, a peaceful escape from the noise of the world. But instead, you find yourself trapped in a never-ending nightmare. What if the house wasn't just a place? What if it was something alive, something hungry, just waiting for you to step inside? This isn't just a horror story. It's a curse that repeats itself. And what if the next victim was you? Before we begin, make sure you're in a safe place with the lights on, because after hearing this story, you might think twice before ever stepping into an old house again. James had always been a man of solitude. After a painful breakup, he wanted nothing more than to disappear. When he found a listing for an old Victorian house on the outskirts of town for an absurdly cheap price, he didn't hesitate. The moment he arrived, something felt wrong. The street was eerily quiet. No passing cars, no distant chatter, not even the rustling of leaves. The air smelled stale, like dust and something faintly metallic. An old woman, frail and almost translucent in the dim evening light, stood at the doorstep. Her eyes were milky white, as if she had seen too much, or not enough. As she handed him the keys, she whispered, "The house chose you. Don't open the black door." James frowned. What black door? But before he could ask, she was gone. His first night was strange. The house groaned and creaked more than it should. He swore the air was thick, pressing down on his chest. The scent of damp wood and something rotten lingered in the air. But what unsettled him most was the whispering. Soft, almost gentle. "James, come here." His blood ran cold. He sat up in bed, heart hammering. The house was silent. Nothing moved. "James." This time, it came from inside the walls. Over the next few days, the whispers grew bolder. They no longer hid in the walls. They spoke to him from mirrors, from doorways left ajar, from the spaces under his bed. And then the mirrors stopped reflecting him correctly. At first it was subtle. His reflection would lag a second behind. Then, one night, as he brushed his teeth, he noticed something horribly wrong. His reflection wasn't brushing its teeth. It was watching him, and then it smiled, a slow, unnatural grin stretching too wide across its face. James stumbled back, knocking over a glass. But when he looked again, his reflection was normal, or so it seemed. On the fourth night, he found the door. It hadn't been there before. Matte black, cold to the touch. It didn't fit with the rest of the house. It looked hungry. A deep thump came from the other side. Then a slow, rasping breath. He stepped back. The door whispered, "James, I've been waiting." He ran. That night, at exactly 3:12 a.m., he woke up to the sound of his bedroom door creaking open. His body froze. A hand emerged from the darkness. Thin. Too long. Then a figure stepped forward. It was tall, impossibly tall. Its body jerking as if its limbs were breaking and resetting with each step. Its face was a swirling void of darkness, shifting like liquid. And then it spoke, "You let me in." The next morning, he found an old photograph on the wall. It was him, but the photo looked decades old, yellowed and cracked. He didn't recognize the clothes he was wearing in it. and there was something behind him in the picture, a shadowy figure, staring at the back of his head. His stomach churned. He turned the frame over and found writing scratched into the wood. "You are not the first." That night, James woke up somewhere impossible. A corridor stretched endlessly before him, lined with breathing doors and walls covered in faces. The faces were screaming, but there was no sound. A deep vibration hummed through the floor, resonating in his bones. From the darkness, hands reached out, clawing at his skin. And then he saw himself, a second James, standing at the end of the hallway. His mirror image grinned. "It's your turn now." James woke up the next morning in his bed, or at least something that looked like James did. He went to work, laughed with friends, lived his life. But inside, the real James was screaming. He was still in the house, trapped, watching as something else wore his skin. After 3 days, Adam stood in front of the old house, staring at its dark windows. He had always possessed a strange talent, the ability to sense places with unnatural energy. And this place, it screamed danger. But Adam wasn't looking for safety. He was an investigative journalist, always hunting for stories that made blood run cold. Lately, he had heard disturbing rumors about this house. Everyone who lived there disappeared. Yet someone still lived inside. A man named James, or at least something that looked like him. When Adam knocked on the door, James answered instantly. He was smiling, but his eyes were empty. "I've been expecting you." A chill ran down Adam's spine. "How did you know I was coming?" "The house told me." Inside, the air felt heavy. The walls carried the scent of mold, yet there was no sign of dampness. Adam glanced at the mirrors. James's reflection lagged behind by a second, just like the old reports had described. Ignoring the unease, Adam began asking about the previous tenants. James never blinked. There were no previous tenants. Adam pulled out his phone to check his notes, but the screen went completely black. Every photo, every recording, every file erased. James whispered, smiling, "You can't take anything out of here." As Adam wandered through the house, he noticed a faded black door at the end of the hallway. It hadn't been there before. His pulse quickened. What's behind that door? James turned slowly, his eyes now devoid of any life. You don't want to know. But Adam did. The sound of all keys rattled as he turned the ice-cold handle. The door creaked open. Beyond it, there was no room. There was nothing. No floor, no ceiling, no end. And within the darkness, something moved. Not something, someone. Distorted faces, staring eyes, whispering mouths. Adam, you are always next. There is no escape. Join us. And before he could step back, a hand reached out of the void and pulled him in. Adam opened his eyes to a world that shouldn't exist. A never-ending hallway, lined with doors that pulsed as if alive. The walls shifted. He could hear voices, weeping, laughing, muffled screams. Then, at the far end of the corridor, he saw himself, or rather, something wearing his face. The fake Adam smiled and said, "You are part of the house now." In the real world, Adam returned to his job, But it wasn't him. Something else had taken his place. Yet deep within the house, behind the black door, the realizing Adam was still there, running through endless corridors, searching for an exit he would never find. And just like James, he watched his own life being lived without him, knowing that the house would find its next victim soon. The end or the beginning of another. What if there was no escape? What if the house was just a part of something much bigger? Something that never stopped searching for new victims. And somewhere else, in another city, another house stands, waiting. You dare to enter? If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to support us by liking and subscribing to the channel to receive more mysterious and thrilling stories. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think such houses could be real? Have you ever felt that a place was watching you? We'll see you in the next story if you're still here.